right, so I'm hanging out with my new buddies, and we're going to talk about a roadmap to success so we can get Sophie some practice of having people come into the house without her being aggressive towards them. So we've already noticed that we have a different Sophie when we have the muzzle on, and also by controlling Sophie's energy level before we open the door, we have a much easier, we're going to have a much easier task of getting the dog to relax. So what we're going to do is have the guest come in, she's going to be muzzled, and we're going to come and sit down in your living room. The guest should not try to talk to the dog, interact with the dog, or even look at the dog, especially not look. Eye contact is a challenge for dogs. And then basically sit down, and you want to have a guest that's going to be kind of quiet and subdued. Not somebody who's very loud, preferably not somebody who's super tall. It's okay if they're tall, but we just don't want really loud or really jittery or quick movements because that will set her off. And then basically they're going to sit down. She's going to be on the muzzle, so she's going to be free to go around. Now, if she's trying to lunge at him, then you should be sitting next to your guest, so you can immediately stand up and insert yourself and move her away. But the muzzle's not going to prevent her from doing any damage. She might growl, but I'm guessing she's probably not even going to growl because she's more subdued. She understands she can't use her mouth. So what I want to do is wait for her to sit down on her own. Don't tell her to sit. Sit. I'm rewarding because she just did it. But wait for her to do it on her own. When she does it on her own, she's telling me, I'm telling you, I'm comfortable enough with this person here to sit down. Now, she's probably going to do it from across the room. When she sits down, then the person you just want to basically have her practice being in the room with him. When she sits down, if he wants, you can give him a treat and then have him hold it off to the side. And just like I'm doing underneath the muzzle, and I'm leaving my hand there. Now, we're not going to do it if she's giving any of those warning signs I talked about in the other video. Now, so she comes over, he gets a treat, we scoop it underneath, she licks it off. He doesn't try to pet her or touch her or talk to her. Just gives her the treat and then puts his hands back and just stays still. And then wait for her to kind of move away and lie down. The first couple times, you want to have it just be a short visit without her exploding. The person comes in, she gets a treat or two, the dog lays down, the person gets up and leaves. And so the whole point of it is we want her to practice not exploding and having good things happen when people are around. So you're going to have to do that enough times until when people come over, she's not growling at all, she's not barking, you're not seeing any of the warning signs, and you've seen that consistently for about a week's worth of visits. Then the next stage would be to have her off the muzzle, but on leash. So when you do that, we're going to make sure we're very careful that she can't, pop the leash, the collar needs to be fitted properly so she can't get away. And again, have the person, and it would be ideal if it's the same person that's already come in and done this. Now, if you can get a couple people to come by, that'd be even better so she gets a little bit more indoctrination with different energy levels and smells. So then what would happen is you're going to have, when the guest comes in, you're going to have your wife or you take the dog on a leash and go to the far side of the room, maybe in the corner, and the guest is going to come in with 4 treats, 3 in one hand, 1 in the offhand. So you're going to come in, and we're going to stop about 10 feet away from the dog, and he's going to turn sideways so the dog's there, so the dog is on his side. Then he's going to drop 1 treat, then he's going to take a step and drop another treat, and another step towards the couch and drop a 3rd treat, then take 2 or 3 steps to sit on the couch. Once the person sits down, don't let the dog pull you there, but we're going to get up and walk Sophie to the first treat, let her lick it up, put her into a sit, wait for her to be relaxed. When she's relaxed, get up and take another step towards the 2nd treat, put her back into a sit, relax, then take her back to the 3rd treat. Let her have that one, put her in a sit. Then at that point, I'm going to have you go back to the original point, put her back in a sit down and kind of just wait, and the person should be quiet. Giving this to her just because she's sitting. The first time we don't want to let her have that 4th treat. He can have it so he has a good smell. And then it should be a short visit, and after she's relaxed, sat down, relaxed, and she's nice and calm, then a person can get up and maybe go half the distance towards her, take the last treat, drop it, and then leave. And then the person leaves. So again, this should be, a pretty short visit, maybe 5 minutes or so. And then you're going to let her, after he starts going up the stairs, come over and get the last treat, but she doesn't get to go follow him all the way. So the next time when she comes over, the same person, if she's nice and calm and she's not giving us any of the warning signs, after she gets the first 3 treats, when he sits down, if you feel comfortable with it, and she's calm and not giving the warning signs, he should hold one in his hand, flat part of his hand. Don't hold it like this, because this is easier for a dog to bite. There's more surface area, so it's harder for a dog, and it's going to be more interesting in the treat, because it's already smelled the treats. So you just hold it over, let the dog lick it off, and so he's going to hold it off the side, don't even look. So, he can look out of the corner of his eye. And you're going to keep the leash so the dog's basically leaning over so the dog can barely get there. But we don't want to be pulling on the leash, so you're going to kind of give the dog the permission to do it. Once the dog does that, we're going to wait a second, the dog's calm. And when he does it, he should leave the hand there. So the dog takes the treat, he doesn't look, he doesn't move the hand. The movement can cause a reaction as well. Most of the time the dog will come back and lick or sniff the hand. So there's still a residual smell. And then after that, then you're going to take the dog back, go sit back in the corner, and just relax. And at that point, we want to start increasing the length of time the guest is here. But the guest should not get up and move about at all without telling you guys first, and never doing it unless Sophie is looking at him. We don't want her to be surprised. Sit. So when you do this enough, combined with having rules and having structure and petting with a purpose, the dog's going to start to identify you guys as more of an authority figure, and I don't have to worry about it. You handle the security of the door. And when these people come in, treats literally fall from the sky. So I start to, can we get some more people around here? Now, it's going to be a gradual process, and it's going to be dependent on how much you guys practice. But eventually, she should associate when people come over, good things happen. One last thing I'm going to show you with Kahlua, and we'll do it here, is you can put her into a sit in the corner. Come here, Kahlua. Well, we'll do it with you then. So then I'm holding the treat and letting the dog nibble on the treat while I'm holding onto it. Now, as you can see, I can orientate the dog whatever direction I want to do. Now, the first couple times, just let it nibble on it before. She doesn't realize that she's trying to lick it. But eventually, she's going to realize she can get little pieces of it by nibbling on it. There we go. So this is called counter conditioning. So we're letting her look at your guest. Kahlua, come here. Come here. Kahlua, sit. Sit. So we're going to let her nibble on it while we're orientating her so she's looking at the guest at a great distance. So eventually what happens is so I would do this when the person comes in and drops the treats, she goes and gets the treats, then you go over there and sit down, then pull out one of these treats and have her, while she's in a sit, she has to be sitting, looking at your guest while she's chewing on this treat. And your guest shouldn't look at her or anything else. So then she associates, I'm getting something really good happening while I'm looking at the guest. That creates a positive association. Combined with the dropping of the treats and holding the treats out to the side, this helps the dog have a better feeling and a vibe about guests coming over, because they get these really high value treats only when the guests come over. So then again, the more that this happens, eventually the dog is going to feel better about the person. Now the next step would be, after the next visit, you wouldn't be quite so far in the corner. You'd be one step closer to the guest, doing the counter conditioning, letting it munch on it. And each visit, you're going to get the dog closer and closer till eventually the dog's sitting on your side of the couch over here and the guest is sitting over there. We want to gradually collapse the distance, but we can't have any reaction. So the dog can be growling or lunging or anything. And this is going to be when you guys feel comfortable. So use your gut, sit, so that when you get to the point that you feel comfortable enough, the dog is relaxed and the dog has a positive association. The dog no longer feels the need to react in the same way. So that's basically your roadmap to success for getting people to come into your house once you've moved into your new pad.